It's a beautiful day to you, our lovely and smart real estate investors across the world. I'm super delighted to welcome you to another insightful and educative session of Property Matters here on YouTube. In case you're coming across a video like this for the first time, my name is Adejare and I'm your host here on Property Matters. Property Matter is a real estate YouTube talk show where we expose you to all the fundamentals and of course in updated informations that will help you not to make a terrible real estate investment decision. In case you're coming across a video like this for the first time, I need your support. Do well to subscribe to this channel, turn on the notification bell so that when I drop a video, a very important personality like you will be the very first person to see it. Over time, we have an updated playlist on every aspect of real estate. It is from land documentation to land verification to how to spot a manipulative real estate developer or how to identify a fraudulent real estate practitioner. We have an exercised episode here, so at the end of this particular video you can check some of the other playlists that we've done. We can be assured that you will get nothing but the best. I will back immediately after this short commercial. Don't go nowhere. Ekpe is the next big thing in the Lagos State real estate market. Ekpe is home to tourism, entertainment. Ekpe is very serene, and Ekpe has one of the best road network in Lagos. Ekpe is home to the spa, to the film city, to the logistic hub. We have several industries, and Ekpe is home to all the notable institutions. So owning a property in Ekpe at this point is the best real estate investment decision you can make. And this is why I welcome you to Treasure Island here in Ekpe. All right, ladies and gentlemen, beautiful smart real estate investors, I'm very delighted to welcome you to Treasure Island here at Poka. And one fascinating thing about this location basically is, number one, the topography, 100% dry land, and it's on the hill. When you look at houses over, I know you love that beautiful hillside property, right? The second thing is the title. This property is 100% residential. That means it's not agric, it's not forestry, there's no any form of acquisition on it. It's 100% residential. So after buying your land, you can perfect your COO with ease. That's number two. Then number three is that it is in a buy and build location. Opposite us here is where we have the sold out Oasis bungalows. Okay, this property is just one of the best. Now, if you have been buying land banking, at this time I think you need to change your real estate investment strategy and buy a buy and build. If you put out bungalows here for monthly basis, you can earn as high as 600,000 on a rental value, which is very, very affordable. Then if you want to do apartment, at least you can still get apartment 2-bedroom here in Poka for 500 to 600. Imagine having several units. Now we are gradually coming to the end of this year. Now the property is selling for 6 million for land, all inclusive makes it 9,150,000. 9,150,000, and you don't have to even pay it at once. With 1 million naira initial deposit, you can spread the balance for 1 year without interest. Show me a real estate developer that will give this kind of offer. So this is Poka, a buy and build location. And let's say to the source, and let's say to with that kind of class. If you have property in Poka, if you have property in other places like the Temu, you are a big boy. Now, person when don't get money, they go Igbola they kidnap, go buy property. Now, person don't go, they don't go Igbodu. If you are a big boy, if you want to get chieftaincy title in the yeah, come to Poka. Now Poka big boy is there. You can see houses now. So you see, that's just it. Now, one more thing. Village person no be Papa Amaka, where you think say they do you. I be Brother Pius. Village person a person will go follow you watch this video. Will go tell you make you no buy. Because you see, 1,000 people enter Lagos on a daily basis. The population is over 22 million. And when Ekpe becomes one of the hottest locations, it go pain you. Say you see this place, you no buy them. A word they say is enough for the white. Thank you, and I'll see you in my next video. All right, you're welcome back. I'm super delighted to be here. First of all, I want to say a very big thank you to everybody that have been supporting us here. And of course, for those who have subscribed, thank you very much. For those who also subscribe, a bigger thanks. Remember, we need your support. So subscribe to this channel so that when we drop a video, a very important personality like you will obviously be the first person to see it. So after watching this particular educative guide, you can also check some of our playlists, and I can assure you that you're going to get nothing but the best. So on today's episode of Property Matters, I'm going to be talking about why Lagos State will be the most and the best real estate investment destination 5 years from today. And today's episode will be focusing on why you should put majority of your real estate investment in the beautiful city of Lagos. Now, when we talk about two important cities in the Federal Capital Territory, Nigeria, two cities always come, to people's mind, and the very first person or the very first city that comes to your mind is Lagos and Abuja. And when you look at this location very well, you notice that the major businesses, the major enterprises, the major banks have both of their headquarters either in Abuja or in Lagos. And you will notice that when you look at why Lagos obviously has topped the best real estate chart, you will understand that some of the most expensive properties, not just only in Nigeria but in Africa, are also situated in Lagos. When you look at the likes of the Banana Island, the present Ikeja GRA, the Lekki Phase 1, the Cowrie Creek, and of course, to mention but a few, these are the top real estate investment. Of course, how can I also forget the Eco Atlantic? Obviously, you know that properties within these locations that I've identified are sold in dollars. So let's talk about Lagos. And a whole lot of people have come to realize the importance of Lagos, while other people are still undermining the importance of investing in the Lagos State real estate market. So on today's episode, I'm going to be giving 4 important reasons why you should invest in Lagos. And it's going to be an interactive and of course an extensive analysis here, which of course we do our analysis with facts and figures. So as at 1970, the population of Lagos as at that time was around Lagos had 1.4 million I said millionaire. Lagos had about 1.4 million inhabitants as at that time. And the population grew rapidly. Of course, undoubtedly you will also agree with me that even the Lagos state government have been unable to give an accurate figure or statistics on the actual number of people of the exact population of Lagos. I've read several statistics. Some will say Lagos is about 15 million, others will say Lagos is about 20 million, and others will say Lagos is about I think 21 or 22 million. So the sad thing here basically is that we don't have an accurate statistics or a population census figure that can give us an accurate figures of the inhabitants and the population of Lagos. But what we can say basically is that Lagos state as at the moment is above 20 million inhabitants. And in addition to this, we also find out that over 86 people, according to the Lagos State Bureau of Statistics, migrate to Lagos every minute. And when we're able to calculate the number of inhabitants Lagos have every day, we find out that over 123,000 people migrate to Lagos on a daily basis. And out of this, the Bureau of Statistics has also made us to understand that 60% of those people don't even have the intention of going back. So Lagos has a population. That's the point we're trying to establish here. And of course, when you also look at the GDP, you also understand that Lagos state government GDP accounts for 25%, and this explains why Lagos economy is the 5th largest in Africa. So in terms of GDP, Lagos is contributing so much, and Lagos alone, according to statistics as at last year, contributes over 60% to the nation's economy. When you look at the reason why a whole lot of companies, headquarters of banks, financial institutions and other big conglomerates are situated in Lagos is due to the fact that Lagos State actually has a thriving environment. Of course, the security is there, and this is why a whole lot of people will definitely want to pitch their investment in Lagos. That is reason number one. The second reason basically is that Lagos State has a strong economic foundation. Now, I've talked about this very quickly, but I'll be reading from an information I have here. Lagos economy is fueled by robust industry, which is true. We also have finance companies, we have technology companies, we also have telecommunication and entertainment industry that have contributed significantly to the growth of the state. The city's location is very, very strategic, and that is very, very true. And when you look at the reason why the Lagos economy have been able to attract global partnership and all that thing, is something that you obviously don't want to ignore. I stated earlier that most of the big businesses, the industries, the banks and other industries have their headquarters. When you go to Marina, you will see this there. When you go to Ikeja, you see this. When you go to places like Maryland, Lekki, and of course some of them are even having their headquarters moved to locations like the Ibeju, Lekki, the Epe. And of course, when you look at this region, you'll find out that it's because of the fact that the Lagos state government is beginning to situate big business. So Lagos obviously has a strong economic foundation for people, and like I said, the population is over 20 million, and then there is constant demand for houses. Why Lagos? There is constant demand for housing, and you understand that the constant demand for housing, okay, increasingly add significantly to the worth of properties. And I mean, I've cited different instances of how I've been able to explore this industry, and I found out that we have over 15,940 percent, okay, 940 metro area in Lagos. And of course, Lagos has become one of the most popular states, and the reason why many people come to Lagos basically is because of the economic advantage it has. And the thing is that in a place where demand is guaranteed, in a place where demand is of high significance, you will understand, okay, that Lagos economy is an economy that is ranked, okay, over some economies in Africa. I think I've stated that. Now, when you look at the Lagos economy as a place, I've stated it before that the rate at which people are investing in real estate in Lagos basically is due to the fact that a whole lot of people have seen what has happened to emerging locations, and how these locations, because of activities of businesses, activities of industry, and of course the participation of governments bringing in several infrastructural facilities in this region, has increased drastically. Ordinarily, how can we explain a situation of Ibeju Lekki that is an emerging locations, and you find out that we have Itunu selling for over 20 million, we have properties selling for even 50 million in Ibeju Lekki, and this place 2 years ago used to be an emerging location. So when you understand that the demand for property in Lagos, and at the rate at which property appreciates in Lagos, is, you can't just phantom it. I've tried several instances to do an analytics, and of course do a research on what could be the factors contributing to Lagos rental market. And I found out that of course there have been case scenarios, and of course different instances that some people believe that the Lagos State real estate market is overhyped, although there is still no statistics to prove that the industry is overhyped. But all I can say basically is, that there is demand. Then the next reason why you should also look out for Lagos as a good real estate investment destination is because of the fact that Lagos State has a robust rental market, and I'll be giving these in different instances. Now, when you look at the teeming rental market is witnessing surge in property rental. So far in Lagos, we have higher proportion of renters, okay, than property owners, and that is true. It is just recently that if people are waking up to the reality of owning their properties. And then when you look at, like, I remember my father of blessed memory during his days, he used to stay at that Mighty Festa side, and he bought his own house there at that time. And I also remember that He bought that house as at that time for less than 1 million. And dad used to, move all the way from Mount Two Festac side down to CMS on a daily basis, okay, to work. So before he was able to get his own apartment, he was renting. And he told me that out of their own civil service sector, the statistic he gave me is that 70% of them at that time were all tenants. It's just 30 people that were landlords. So he gave that. And when you look at the reason why the industry is surging, why the rental market is expanding at an uncontrollable rate, basically is due to the fact that many people have viewed Lagos to be a land of endless opportunities. Exactly. So, and there is this hype and this reputation that you will have the moment people discover that you're a landlord in Lagos. So I've seen instances whereby people prioritize having the properties in Lagos than having it in their hometown, and that's because of the fact that the Lagos state rental market is highly profitable. And you must also understand the statistics, the dynamics, and of course the mode of operation, and most of those contributing factors to how the rental market is surging at an unexpected rate. So looking at that now, an intensive study actually showed that 75% of the Lagos populations are renters. That means they are tenants. Now, out of the 75, that does not mean that majority of those people don't have, it doesn't mean that they don't have their own properties. Yes, they do. Some of them have their own houses, some of them have their own properties, but because of the fact that their place of work, okay, may be far, okay, to where their own property is, in some situations like that, considering the cost of transportation, considering the stress of traffic, many of them are forced, okay, to rent properties in a place that is very close to their place of work. So sometimes Lagosians prioritize convenience over having a property, and they have to go through the rigor and the stress, okay, of coming to work every day. So despite the fact that they have their own rental, they have their own personal property, majority of them still, okay, chooses to do what, to rent, so that they can they won't miss work and everything. So we have 75% of those people, and this is why a whole lot of people are actively seeking recognition in the Lagos state rental market. A whole lot of people, when you look at the way at which real estate developers are building apartments, the reason why there is competition for the scarce land, the reason why a whole lot of people are taking advantage of this, these days, you understand that the Lagos state rental market is very, very profitable. Very, very profitable. Properties in Lagos are very, very expensive. So if you have a property in Lagos, most time people will say that you can have a property in Lagos, you have a home of yours, or you have a land of yours, they will say that 40% of that person's life problem has been solved. So another thing basically is that the Lagos state real estate market gives you diverse rental options. And I'm going to be explaining that. Now, what have actually dominated the rental market in the Lagos state basically was the idea of you getting an apartment and putting it out for rent. And of course, that obviously was the main target. But right now, we have lease, okay? You can own a property and choose to lease it for some number of years, and you pay for it. There's been the option of leasing it to companies. Of course, I know some families at Admiralty that they earn 20 million naira from the land that they leased, okay, to an individual who built office complexes, okay, and that guy remits 20 million naira to that family. So lease. So Lagos state real estate market gives you diverse options. So for your land, you can choose. If you don't have the resources as at that time, okay, to build, you can lease it. You make good option, okay. Then you can also have luxury apartment. Luxury apartment in the sense that you can have 2-bedroom apartment, you can have 3-bedroom apartment. Now on your apartment, you can choose to go to Airbnb and short-lived rentals. People earn per day, okay, using the apartment for those varieties. Then you can also look at, okay, fine, I don't want to go into luxury apartment, I want to go into the commercial space. You can also give your land and build malls, so you can have commercial activities. So the Lagos state real estate market gives you a whole lot of opportunities to explore, and this is why when you are investing, you just can't ignore that fact that This market gives everybody a level playing opportunities to make money. Now, the final reason why you need to make Lagos rental market or the Lagos real estate market a priority basically is that the rate at which infrastructures are being done in Lagos is very, very remarkable. Now, recently, the Lekki Epe Express right now has been on for some time. The very first phase of that Lekki Epe Express started from the Ekpeti Junction down to Eleko. Then they also continued that project from Eleko, and they took it, and they are presently taking it all the way to the Abraham Adesoya. Look at what the Lagos State government is doing at Ejinri, starting the Epe Film City. Look at the Lagos State Food and Logistic Hub, and of course the purpose of that logistic hub is to make Lagos produce its own food. And obviously, if that project is successful, Lagos State will not have to depend on importation of farm commodities, more especially from the northern parts of Nigeria. Look at the proposed Lekki International Airport. Now, when you look at all these activities happening simultaneously, is a clear indicator that the rental market or the real estate market in Lagos has a promising future. Now, the mistake real estate investors are doing basically, I've said this several times and I'm going to say it again. You don't use the height of the present to judge the rental market. Now, for those who are invested in Epe, for those who have invested in Ibeju Lekki, for those who are invested in other parts, you are actually looking at the long term and you are going to make it big time. So, as a real estate investor, I've had instances of investors telling me that I bought this one, I think I want to rest. Yeah, if financially you are constrained, you can, but don't stop. The way the rental market will give you good return is that you need to diversify. I've always been emphasizing on diversification. You can choose to have properties in Epe. You can go to other places of the mainland. The Muwe aspect, of course, it's not Lagos. The Ikorodu, fantastic. The Epe, fantastic. Ijebode, fantastic. Epe Jebode, fantastic. You can also explore other states. Abeokuta is there, and then Ibadan is there. So one of the most important things is that as you are investing in Lagos, invest in other states as well, but make Lagos a top priority. The kind of return that an investment in Lagos will give you will be enormous. I used to remember then when I was a kid, my dad used to have his friend that comes around to play with us. He comes visiting. He's a very close friend of my dad, and I remember when this man was having, of course, this was a man that encouraged my father, to get his own property. Back then, it was around 1990, of course, I was still a kid then, I think 1993, 1994. This man told my dad that he bought one plot of land at, what is this place? At Ikotun for 6,000. He bought plot of land at Agbara. Of course, that's the barracks area, the Alaba International area. He told me he bought it. He told my dad at that time, because I used to be with my dad. So he told me he bought his plot of land at Agbara for 4,000 naira. Then he also talked about other places he bought, which I cannot remember precisely. But these lands were very low in price. But today, the man actually retired before my dad, and all his life he never lacked money. He owns several flats in my two estate, I think more than 2. He was able to retire early, and he was milking his real estate investment to his satisfaction. He's late now, but I can tell you that man enjoyed that quality life he's always wanted. And one of the reasons why I've always emphasized on investing in Lagos basically is that you can explore your properties for different reasons. So, as a real estate investor, the mistake I don't want you to make basically is to say that I have one property is enough. No. I'm tired of investing. Now, let me also quickly state this, very important, that you can only get the best of the Lagos State real estate investments if you do it rightly. There are some companies that are not out for your interest. There are some that are siphoning and duping people. I have a lot of series on how to invest, things you need to look out for. You can check, okay, at the end of the video. Of course, I'll have some of those videos. You can look at some of these things I've explained, but the most important thing is that as profitable as the industry is, okay, you can make errors. if you do not do it rightly. More importantly, if you don't, involve the right and the quality people. So you have invested in Lagos state real estate market, you have 1 or 2 properties. Congratulations to you. I beg you in God's name, go for more. Even I'm still exploring the opportunity of getting as many as I can, because you see, I want to retire early. I don't want to be 40 and I'm still doing 9 to 5, or I'm still taking shifts, or I'm saying no. I don't want to do that, because the property you are buying today, give it 5 years, give it 10 years. Now it will be much more. It will be a more added advantage if you have several. That's it. 5 years from today, it is estimated that by 2030, okay, it has been estimated that the population of Lagos will grow from 22 million to 25 to 26 million. Now, the increasing population obviously is an added advantage, because there will demand for houses, and the rental market will never ever depreciate. A lot of people have been anticipating that when people can no longer, the thing is, in Lagos, if you cannot afford it, there are several other people, 1 million and more people can afford that property, and they are always waiting to kick you out if you cannot pay. So the best you can get basically is that I've studied successful real estate entrepreneurs in this industry. I've studied billionaires who have made fortunes in the real estate industry. And one thing I can say basically is that they had numerous investments. So don't say I've done 2, I'm okay. No, you can't. It can only be okay if you want to live a moderate lifestyle. Maybe you don't want to have as millions as possible. But if you want to have something that you can pass from generations after, in fact, for some of us who even have 3 or 4 or 5 kids, you can have different properties in their name, so that by the time it's time for them to share, they won't be, using hand robbers or something over each other. You would have clearly stated it that this is for this person, this is for this person. So, but the most important thing is that 5 years from today, 10 years from today, a whole lot of people will be glad they invested, and a whole lot of people will be kicking themselves that they didn't invest much enough. So there is no number of properties that is ever enough. If you can afford to do 5, what I do basically on a yearly basis is that, for me not to choke myself so that I can, because I have other responsibilities, I do 5 investments every year. So if I bought 5 properties, so I spread it out. So make it a priority to invest. Okay, it's not just because of the fact that I'm an investor. So take it from me. I'm an investor. Okay, I also have my own properties I've invested to, and I can tell you that there's this joy, there's this sense of fulfillment, there's this, when people are talking about old age, I'm not under pressure. I shall know that in my old age I cannot struggle financially. It's an assurance, and this is what investment does. Okay, when you had 10 years to your present age, the question is, we still have the strength and the mental capability to do those brain taxing job, or we still have the physical strength to do this. These are some of the things I put into consideration whenever I'm making decisions relating to real estate. So this is where I'm going to draw today's curtain of why you should invest in Lagos. In case you have inquiries and questions on the kind of investment you want to do, the investment red flag, tips on how to vet a real estate developer. Now, what I'm doing for you basically is that you just give me an indicator that you're ready to invest. I'll hand over everything for you, from the property due diligence, by researching the developers, checking the content of their work, checking their integrity standards. So we handle every other thing. The most important thing is that you'll be investing, and you'll be investing rightly if you work with us. So this is what I'm going to draw to the curtain of today's episode of Property Matters. Don't forget to subscribe. See you in my next video. God bless you. Bye for now.